We're here with Redmond, CEO and co-founder of Hippo, talking about brainstorming thought leadership. We often get asked the question, how do I come up with interesting thought leadership? And we're here today to demystify that process.
So one of the things that is really interesting is that thought leadership can be an incredible way to market your business or yourself. But in order for it to work, it has to feel as far away from marketing as possible. Let's say you're running a company that helps kids do their homework better. Your natural reaction would be to write about that, about your product and how it's been so successful and what it's achieved. And that's actually the wrong thing to do. What you want to do instead is you want to be adjacent to the space that you work in, but not directly talking about it.
So basically what you're saying is with thought leadership, you want somebody to take a stand and put out there something that is going to engage people and show that you're a leader in your field because you know things that other people don't.
That's exactly right. And so with my homework example, rather than writing about your product, what you could write about instead is this super interesting fact that kids that spend more time on their homework actually don't do as well as kids that spend less time, assuming that were true, of course. And then if you want to go one step further, you can say, you know, actually in the course of running this business, we've collected this set of data about the way that people are using our product. And here's something interesting. When we've asked children to spend more time on their problem sets, their scores haven't improved. And then you're actually able to talk about something that's new and useful to people. It shows them that you're an expert in the field. And as bonus points, if you can go in and do your homework and figure out, you know, why is that not true? What research is coming out of universities that maybe supports that point? Then you're building a very genuine and very engaging thought leadership platform.
Great example, and I always love your examples. What about the person who doesn't have something obvious like that?
So that's a good question, and most people don't. They don't come in with this very specific idea of what they want to talk about. So then, you know, we suggest doing a couple things. One is to kind of think about the last time you were at a business event, maybe you were at a conference or a cocktail party, and you're chatting to someone in the corner, and you say something, and you see that person's eyes light up, and they say, oh, you know, that's so interesting, I never thought about it that way, or I'm surprised by that information. So every time you get that sort of reaction, it's hard to remember, write it down. Think about you know, ways that your company has used data that is not public. These industry insights that have become kind of obvious to the people within that company, but that they haven't shared externally. And once they start sharing them, then people really sit up and take notice because they're saying something very interesting.
So what would you tell someone about thought leadership in reaction to current events?
There are two pieces to that. One is reactions to current events, which are great but have to be timely. And the challenge there is that the news cycle moves really quickly, and sometimes it can move faster than you expect because there's a hurricane or there's a fire or, you know, there's a sexism in Hollywood scandal. And then your wonderful op-ed about gun control is no longer relevant. But there's a second piece to that, which is kind of reactions to industry news where you're creating your own platform. Everyone is writing XYZ about my industry, but here's how they're getting it wrong. Or this prediction about this space is considered common knowledge, but I disagree with it, and here's why. And that kind of thought piece is actually much more powerful because you're building your own stage there. It doesn't matter if the news cycle has moved on. Any editor or reader will pay attention because you're saying something interesting and unique.
To recap what we've learned today about thought leadership, good thought leadership should not look like marketing. Thought leadership should teach your audience something they don't already know. And if you're struggling with ideas for thought leadership, think about commonly accepted views in your field that you disagree with, some proprietary information you have that others don't, access to data that the general public doesn't have, or think about something you said recently that made people say, wow.
Great recap, Diane. Thanks for joining us. If you are interested in taking the next steps, now that you're thinking about the kind of thought leadership you should be putting out into the world, reach out. We are here to help.